guys, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
Good. So to start, I have a question for you, Bo. Why did you let the dog run away and then give me no kind of answer about what happened to this dog?
It's scarier that way, right? Not knowing not the mystery of it all, not knowing.
It really was like, great, this dog is gonna come back either dead or just like be running later. No answer. I have no idea what happened to this beautiful puppy. But I
Yeah, I think that the thing we were saying is uh Kane like ate the dog or something. Um so yeah.
Yeah, Katie the dog.
I do like Jackie, I love, the idea of this woman getting in trouble in the society for writing a book and then slowly how you just kind of see the layers of how like badass and how much of a resistance fighter she is kind of show throughout the movie. What for you is the fun of getting to dive into a character like that that is, we meet her right out the gate as somebody who they're searching for, and then we slowly kind of see how she fights.
Um, it it was very intense and challenging, but I loved it because she's a leader, and it was beautiful for her to, get to use her voice for something so powerful. People actually listen to her, and she's changing the world in her own way, and she must pissed off someone that they want her dead. And that's when it's a good thing. You're doing something good if they want you to die. But I feel like her balancing, being a mother and an activist, it kind of took away her activism took away the her opportunity to also be a mother.
Mm-hmm.
So her coming back to that and kind of building that relationship back with Murphy slash Daria was a little hard at first, because when you're a kid and your mom's or your dad's gone, you feel like it's your fault they left or they don't like you and things like that. So I put myself in her position, feeling like, oh, if my dad was gone and coming back, like who are you? You know what I'm saying? Like that's such a even if it was like a year or two, those are very important years for a kid growing up. So just that was challenging, but building a relationship with my daughter in the film organically, and it was very authentic because she's such a beautiful little girl, and her mother just let her be open with me, and that was just a really cool authentic moments that you see that we have are super real because we were playing off screen, and then we're like, okay, we got to get it down. You remember, like sometimes she would look at me because she forgot a line, and I'll be like this, and then she'll remember the line because she wanted also to make me proud too. So it was
Mm-hmm.
like a really cool set, where and Bo does have great, talent when it comes to picking people because everybody in that film was so good when it comes to, Ron being this, a man that like loses himself, he did such a great job at that. And then me trying to be this strong woman, I got to tell you, it was challenging at first because, of Ron's personality and, and Paul, and how do I become more powerful than him without raising my voice, So that was it was challenging, but it was like a almost like I felt like I acting wise, it was like I grew as an actress as well. And, reading a role for a Latina, be a lead, a political prisoner, living it in real life because I'm inspired by my mentor, Carmen Perez, and the Women's March and all that, and her balancing work, which is activism, with being a mother and not being afraid to bring her children into that ugly world.
Mhm.
and showing them how to use their voice. I mean, what else can I ask for? Bo wrote an incredible role, and I hope I did her justice. And it was very hard to shoot because of our timing. But again, it was like COVID happening, and then you couldn't work, and then you had to do this to work, and it was very close to home what was happening in the film as well. So that's what made it even more scary too.
Yeah. And talking about the scary aspects of it, Bo, there was a shot with Paul Wesley where I 100% was like, this is like an even more kind of new age twisted version of um Amityville Horror, because it was like this man's slow descent into like what he thinks he's seeing and what he thinks he has to do. When you are adding all those horrible horror elements onto a movie that does have such a social commentary and does have all these moving parts, how do you kind of navigate when is the time to really like lay into the horror side of things, and then when to kind of focus on like the horrors that they're kind of dealing with?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know if there's like a rule to that. Like, at this page, you know, we kind of transition to the horror stuff, and at this page we come back to the grounded reality. I think it's all very organic, um, and just kind of happen within the flow of the script. Obviously, like structure has an important part of it, and also building Ron's descent into madness. Um, so it doesn't happen too quickly, but it also can't happen too slow because we're not, like a 7 episode miniseries. um, we just have like 90 minutes or whatever, 97 minutes. Um, so yeah, I think that stuff is just something that happens organically when I was writing it. Um, when to kind of transition into the horror moments. But the actual like mechanical part of it, of getting into the horror elements, for example, when Ron is in the kitchen being served pie by this ghost, that was kind of just nightmare logic. Like it's in his subconscious, and that's why Jackie's character Allegra can't see the ghost. Or we actually did shoot a scene where Jackie sees Kane, the ghost, old guy.
Yeah.
We did shoot that scene, but it didn't work in the edit. Like it
I
felt off.
forgot about that.
Yeah, like it was fun
I
and
love her.
everything. It was creepy, but it just didn't work for the rules. So I think these things just organically develop when you're writing it, and then they develop again when you're shooting it, and then they develop even further in the editing room. So yeah.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask, Jackie, like when you are in a movie like this where there are these horror elements, but you don't really get to navigate in them as much, like that is kind of just Paul's job in his role. What is for you the fun of like existing in that movie but not having to do the like I'm scared of the ghost in the shadows kind of deal, but like we as the audience are.
I got to be honest with you. I was scared from because of my daughter, because she was seeing things that I couldn't see. That to me was scary. I mean, if my actual daughter is like, "Mom, the guy is telling the little boy is telling me how many numbers you have. How do you know this?" And I'm gonna be like, that was creepy to me already. And then Murphy is creepy already because she's so good. She's so
Yeah,
good. She
she's so
loves scary film and natural. She's a natural. And then that last, scene without, saying anything to get her to go there. Her mom, she said she was having a hard time, but it wasn't really. It was very quick that she got there, and I think the relationship that we built throughout the film, knowing that I was there with her, kind of let her be free as well. And when we embrace each other, it's just so real, man. I loved working with the people like on set, and hair, makeup, everybody was just fantastic. And I just became a mother. I was pumping on set. The sound guy is like, "What is that noise?" and it's my pump. And I'm like, Jackie, do you mind like taking that off while we shoot? I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God.
The
It's just
first
like
two
one of
days, I'd
those,
be like, guys, I keep hearing something. What is that? And
it
it's
was
like
so embarrassing.
generator. It's not like it's not the camera. Like what?
But
It's
that's
fun.
what was really cool, you know, like I loved the set. Like everybody was so like understanding of me being a new mother, and like just that was my role too, you know, being a new mother again to this character. And I just felt like it lent itself. Everything I was going through in my real life, everything that I experienced in my real life, I used that. And when you're a mom, you'll do anything for your kid. You'll kill for your kid. So that knowing that already just made Alegre more powerful in my mind. And I don't care if I have to kill my own husband to protect my daughter, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not many, you know,
I
not
also
that I
want
did.
to add the ghosts in the film, these entities, they kind of it lends himself to the story because Paul was susceptible to it because he's weak inside. You know, he wants to be this like macho dude that thinks he has everything under control and he can save the day. He can go out and find Benny and do all this stuff. But really, he's like cracking inside, you know?
Mhm.
And Allegre is like strong, like inside and out. Like she's got this down. And so, and Murphy's just like a small child. She's innocent. So I think these ghosts prey on people that are weaker, not necessarily physically, but like deep down inside. And that was part of the rules of it too, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, what is kind of cool about this movie is in the end, it's, in a sea of men kind of leading the charge and ruining the world, as it were. It's these three women who are kind of
Yeah.
standing together and like trying to move on and keep going and with everything else that they've had to deal with. Was that always kind of like your focus as a director to make sure that like we as the audience were like from the minute we meet them ready to be fully behind these women and want them to be the people that, and in the end we see them alive and well?
Yeah, I mean, the story's inspired from my mother's story being an activist and like she's very active in women's rights, my own mom, and she actually came to set and like met Jackie and Paul and
It
everyone.
was awesome.
But I've also, just as a filmmaker and a fan of like movies, I've loved strong female leads. Like I had Jackie watch Alien, because Ripley is so badass, or
Hmm.
Sarah Connor, you know, um, or like even Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of like strong female leads, um, and also like deconstructing like the male macho, whole thing that Paul is like, falling to, you right? So yeah, I think it was always in the playbook from the beginning to have these characters. I always wanted the end to be like these three badass ladies, driving away in this truck. Um, and yeah, yeah.
I love it. Thank you guys for talking with me today. I really appreciate it. Jackie, is someone it is snowing in New York. Your background has made me jealous this entire time.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
It almost
I
looks
didn't mean to do
fake.
that. It almost looks fake.
Like it doesn't look fake. I know it's not fake, but it's like one of those stock backgrounds.
It's just
Like,
is like moving behind you the
yeah,
entire.
Well, look at this. Look at
Um,
this, baby.
that
I'm
is
so jealous.
in,
There is ice frozen on my fires.
that's crazy.
I'm just looking at that like it's so warm.
Sorry, guys. No, I got some. You guys have something I don't have, which is electricity, that's nice once in a while. But I don't have it. I don't have electricity, so I have this beautiful ocean, but I can't plug in. You know.
Oh, you can't plug in, but you get to see that beautiful warm beach whenever
Yeah,
you.
Yeah,
you don't
no.
need you don't need to
It is
plug in.
nice
You
to
got the beach.
Oh, I love
That's
it.
true. That's true. That's true.
Thank you guys for talking with
People
me.
think
Thank
that
you.
being here makes you lazy, but it doesn't. It makes you want to, because
Yeah.
I don't know, just breathing and seeing this just makes you want to like continue to breathe and see this. So I better pay my bills.
Well, thank you. I can't wait for people to get to see the history of evil. I loved it a lot.
Awesome. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thanks for
Thank
having
you
us.
so much.
Everyone.